Well, baby, today is the day me and your grandmother, we find out.
We're gonna find out.
You're gonna find out your gender.
Or a girl. Well, your mom not yet. Only me.
Yeah, my mom's gonna find out the gender, not me. And we're also gonna find out if he's healthy. If he has all his bones and limbs and body parts. Today is the day of our anatomy scan. Very important. What do you think it's gonna be, Mommy?
A boy.
Me too. What if it's not a boy?
That's your karma.
My karma. Well, I also think you're gonna be a boy. And I'm scared if you're gonna be a girl. I'm scared that they might start crying. And everything I'm seeing on my screen, you'll see up on your screen. And then when we're getting to any part of the exam where we're looking at gender, we'll go ahead and let you know so that you don't look at the screen. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to take some initial measurements before we look at baby, looking at your anatomy. The cervix, looking at the bladder. So baby's, I don't know if you can see on your screen there, baby's head is down and then there's a little arm, hand kind of above like this.
Really?
Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
That little arm kind of waving.
He's been upside.
Little thumb. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like a little arm kind of
I see.
fingers.
Yeah.
You all that?
Yeah.
It's kind of waving at you.
He's been upside down since like last time.
That's exactly what we want. We
Oh,
love
okay.
to see babies with their heads down like that.
Oh, okay.
So that's actually perfect. Give it a good look at the heart rate. So that's baby's heart rate. Babies have really fast heart rates, which is normal. So this baby's 149 beats per minute. Very normal. Structures like the brain. We're taking our measurements. And then we'll try to measure these nice long legs. Beautiful. Good one there.
Do you see his legs, Mommy?
To your arm.
Oh.
Try to get a better view. There we go.
That's a leg, right? Or
This is the upper arm. Now, one question I have for you, are you taking your aspirin daily?
Yeah.
Okay, great. You take it 81 milligrams every day?
Yes.
Perfect. See if we can get that arm one more time.
she says she's gonna work on I think he's gonna want to explain,
Yeah, I could kind of see it.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see your face when you were little.
Yeah, me too. I don't see Dad at all.
No,
Okay.
that's God. Huh?
I don't know. It's too soon to tell, Mommy.
Yeah, that's true. And they change. They
I
change.
could see the lips
Yeah.
and the eye. His eyes are closed.
When you were chinita también. Now?
Yes. Don't make any faces because I'm going to be able to tell. No. Mommy, that's not funny. Then I already know.
Well, what do you know? No,
Because you're laughing.
we're laughing.
'Cause-
The emotion.
When I saw your face for the first time and I got a glimpse as to what you'll look like, and I heard your strong and steady heartbeat, it felt like the first time I saw you all over again. The only difference is you're no longer just a tiny little dot on a screen. You have eyes, a nose, lips, ears, your adorable little fingers, and your arm waving at me. I was no longer watching a fetus on my screen, but an actual human being who's been living inside of me, growing. I was watching my child. And it's been almost 20 weeks with you, and I have consequently had you experience many waves of my turbulent emotions. You have been with me from the very beginning of the end of my relationship with your dad to now, the midway point of my pregnancy. And even so, you're turning out to be a very healthy baby. And for that, thank you for not only providing me a peaceful pregnancy, but for being my peace. Because you are my peace. And you have been my peace. Anytime I have a vulnerable moment and break down into tears, you start kicking. And you don't stop until my tears stop and the sadness within subsides. Thank you for being my peace. When in fact, I should be your peace.
Okay, we're going to rearrange this room. First we have to... First we have to vacuum, okay? So stay still, guys.
Your dad told me in the beginning of my pregnancy something very specific. That I need to show my child, that I should be showing my child, what a strong and independent woman looks like. That's what I should be showing in my pregnancy journey videos, and ultimately to my child, versus what I have been sharing. In the beginning of my pregnancy, I had a hard time going out. Whether it was on my own or with company, it didn't really matter. It didn't matter whether I was standing firm in my decision of giving my child life, despite the circumstances. I felt almost ashamed and embarrassed to walk around with my head held high. I would get looks with people's expression just full of pity. It was very recently, when I actually started to show more, that I realized that people can be judgmental on what type of person I was to them. Just because there was no ring on my left hand and no man standing tall beside me, but yet I was still walking around with a growing belly. My credentials, my career, my money, it no longer mattered. I was now just a single mother in their eyes. I was now just a walking statistic to them, like your dad said I would be. As time progressed, I guess to spare my own feelings and my already low self-esteem, I learned to just keep my head down when I go out. I walk around looking down to avoid making eye contact with anyone, and I wear my headphones to just tune out my surroundings to protect our peace. Sometimes I won't even wear my contacts. The logic behind that is, if I can't see anything and everything around me looks blurry, people's looks when they see me, it won't hurt my feelings as much. Your dad's comment, it really peeved me at the time, and it still does to this day. It felt like a man was gatekeeping a woman's experience because it doesn't fit their narrative. Why do women have to be forced into this box of strength and independence all the time? This toxic ideology of a strong and independent woman pushed heavily, especially on women who are already actively struggling as it is. That's so dangerous. Especially pregnant women. The mother of your child. She doesn't have to be strong and independent if she feels like she could truly not be that for herself and for her child. And there's nothing wrong or dangerous about expressing that. If anything, it's admirable. Because pregnancy, especially a woman's first pregnancy, it is the most vulnerable moment of their life. It is full of so many psychological and physiological changes that really impact not only the way a pregnant woman perceives the people around them, but most importantly, how they perceive themselves. It changes. And you may not understand that concept yet. I'm sure your dad, his opinion will change once he gets married, once he experiences actual love. Abby, you're not going to want your wife, the mother of your children, to lift a finger while she's carrying your child. I know you. You're going to be there to help her out as much as you can, because you've done it for me in the past. If all pregnant women had perfect and blissful experiences, perinatal and postpartum depression wouldn't even exist. Providers wouldn't be screening for depression and anxiety through early pregnancy. Pregnancy-specific support wouldn't even exist. Of course, wouldn't it make for a remarkable redemption story? A woman, strong and independent, who overcame all her obstacles in life and triumphed in the end, despite all the odds. Pregnancy, the way it can be portrayed online, in the media, and through one's own family and friends, it can be an incomplete depiction. I've chosen to share my pregnancy journey in the most intentional way possible, in the most healthiest way possible, because I strongly believe every woman has the right to share their pregnancy journey, the good, the bad, and everything in between, if they choose to do so. Women create life. They have every right to be unapologetic when sharing their pregnancy experiences. I quite honestly think it's a toxic mentality, or just plain toxic in general, to portray pregnancy of any kind as simply just a beautiful journey, and that's all it can be. It can be, and I'm not saying there hasn't been beauty in my own pregnancy journey, but there are a lot of women who struggle in silence. that because society says it's a privilege for a woman to experience pregnancy and motherhood, they're not allowed to feel or experience anything other than happiness or pure bliss. Pregnant women are shamed in even acknowledging, yet alone expressing, that their pregnancy journey and their experience has not been perfect or is less than ideal. That they are struggling emotionally and physiologically, or a combination of the two. Pregnancy, it can rear its ugly head at some women and traumatize others. That's a harsh reality of pregnancy for many women, and they deserve to feel comfortable in expressing their qualms. I think your dad and his disappearing act, it's a good example of that. People are nicer or more sympathetic to you even when you are pregnant, even when you're openly conveying you're struggling and you need help, even when you're carrying their own child. It doesn't fit their narrative in life to be good people. So they'll sit there and be a part of the same group who will criticize women, who carry enough emotional intelligence to speak up for themselves and ultimately speak up for their children, even if it goes against the grain. I don't want to perpetuate a false narrative of my pregnancy to anyone, especially my own child. I'm a strong woman. Life has reared its ugly face at me many times, and I've been independent for many years up until this point. But this chapter in my life, I am trying to be my best to make the most out of a depressing situation. I think saving face would be doing more harm than good. And I don't want to raise a dishonest child. As a woman who will one day be raising a boy or girl, to perpetuate false narratives for the sake of showing face is not exactly healthy in my eyes.
We did it, Papa. We did it. Yes, I figured it out. Wow. Okay, Papa. I can do this.
And whether I raise a boy or girl one day, I need my child to know that they can and should express when they don't feel strong enough or they don't feel independent enough to do something alone. That isn't a sign of weakness or a character flaw. So remember this. It's one thing knowing the truth. It's another thing ignoring the truth. Baby, there is power in being strong and an independent person. Don't get me wrong. And I want you to figure out what a strong and independent person looks like for you. I don't want to be your perception on strength and independence. I want you to experience life and come to curate your own definition on your own without my experience or words influencing you. This isn't what strength and independence looks like for me, to be quite honest. If you're asking me, strength is walking in your own truth. Life is hardening me up quite a bit, especially recently, but it hasn't been by choice. I'm just rolling with the punches, quite frankly, and making the best out of every moment being pregnant. For your mom, being independent is also asking for help when you acknowledge that you need it the most. Independence, it's adapting to life circumstances, no matter what the case may be. Being brave enough to trust your own intuition and trust your own heart and whatever decisions it leads you to in life. Ultimately, it's taking responsibility and accepting the consequences to your actions. So tell me, by the time you're watching this back, I'm curious to know what your definition of strong and independent has become. Honestly, baby, by the time I meet you, you're gonna be a really strong baby, both emotionally and physically, because look at us. We're rearranging your nursery together without a single tear or without even breaking a sweat. It's out of pocket, if you're asking me, for anyone to tell or try to influence a pregnant woman on how they should or should not be feeling during their own personal pregnancy journey, what they are and are not allowed to convey, and what they shouldn't convey, especially a man. A man who, quite frankly, knows nothing firsthand about pregnancy and motherhood, respectively. I think people like your dad and those alike, they lack empathy, morals, and ultimately, and most importantly, integrity. They feel entitled to throw their opinions around unprovoked, but at the same time feel they owe no one the courtesy in taking responsibility and accountability for the consequences to their own actions. People like your dad, in my eyes, and their toxic perceptions of sensitive topics like pregnancy are dangerous people, in my opinion. What he has done to me, he won't hesitate to do to the next inconvenient woman he comes across. Your dad is out there telling people in his life right now that I'm not allowing him to be involved or provide support, when since the beginning, when I was a bit more naive and I was asking him for help, and I received none. I actually just got ignored. Your dad knows I was struggling and chose to do nothing in true support for the mother of his child. Yet, he still cares about me as a person. To ease his own ego, his own self-worth, his image, and his reputation, I got threatened that he would take you away from me if he really wanted to. Because I'm not qualified to be your mother in his eyes. Is this what you wanted to see, Abby? Because here you go. A strong and independent woman, creating your child and still getting everything done on her own. Why do I have to be strong and independent while you get to sit back on the sidelines giving your unsolicited advice? What do you know about being strong and independent, Abby? Because you're neither. I suggest you stop projecting your insecurities onto the mother of your child. I have been strong and independent my whole life because I had to be, not because I've wanted to or was given a choice. Life made that decision for me. And in order to overcome my obstacles in the past, I had to be. This is me being strong and independent, whether it fits your construct or not. I'm just so... I told myself I was not gonna cry for the new year. I can't cry. But I'm just so frustrated, overwhelmed. You know, I totally understand. And I heard it loud and clear. So did his sister, so did my mom, who were present that day, where, Abraham pretty much said, I don't want anything to do with this child. He doesn't want to help raise it. He doesn't want to meet the child. He wants to move on. He said he wants peace. Fine. Go ahead and find your peace. I don't mind raising this child alone if that is what it's going to come down to. What I'm upset about is that no one on his end is encouraging him to be a decent human being. His parents are Christians, apparently. His sister's this person people look up to. And all of them are okay with him just sitting back, going golfing on the weekends, being unemployed, and that's it. The least you can do, Abraham, because I know you're watching, is go get a job. I don't care what job. You're not better than anyone. You're not too good for a part-time job. You should be able to go get a job and help out financially. Because if you expect me to raise this child by myself, which I will, and I will happily do, you need to work with me. The fact that no one is pushing you to do the right thing, not by me, but by your own child. If I would have never emailed him before the holiday season and asked for him to fill out I was beginning the process of filling out the pre-registration forms for the UCLA Birthing Center. It was why not do this ahead of time? Tax season is coming up.
I usually have to pay back, I usually owe taxes and I have to pay back. So let me just try to get my finances all in order for the start of the new year. I emailed him the forms. Hey, can you fill out your section? It's very important. Health insurance section, please fill it out. Also, are you going to, because October 7th, that conversation was not conducive whatsoever. His sister was over here talking about the breakup, this, that, and the third. I'm over here trying to talk about co-parent. She didn't give a fuck. He didn't give a fuck. They didn't want to talk about it. He said his piece. He said a lot of very nasty and evil things, and you're going to hell for it. I don't care. You are going to hell for the things you said about your own child, you and your whole family. I don't care. I sat there and I took it like a champ. The next time I reach out to you towards the end of the year is to let's talk about finances, or just, do you have health insurance? And it was then that I found out that he was unemployed and he's doing boot camp, and it's going to take another 6 to 8 months. And I had told him prior, I will be filing for child support. At that time, I told him I will be filing for child support. Please don't funnel your income through your LLC or your sole proprietorships, because he's a serial entrepreneur. That's his kind. He used to gloat, if not brag, to me. He used to insult me and call me poor. I guess I am poor. I don't know. And he used to brag. He was like, I made your whole salary in 4 or 5 months. For 3 years, I dealt with insults like that, being talked down to and belittled like that. Bragged about all of his millionaire friends and his sister's so successful and oh, I could buy a Tesla today if I wanted to. Like, just bragged so much. And it's come to the point where he's either a liar, and he's been lying to me the last couple of years, or he's bad at lying. Because the math isn't mathing. The sole proprietorships, you still have those things. And you're telling me you don't have a dime to your name because now conveniently FTX happened. And now conveniently all of his money was in FTX. Every single dime to his name, apparently. So I wonder, is he still paying rent at his house? Is he still helping his parents with the bills? I'm sure he is, because that's his family. That's who he cares about, and that is fine. What pisses me off is that the least you can do as a human being is offer, hey, what can I help you with to make your pregnancy a little bit easier? But no, I have to sit here and bust my ass off, work crazy hours, work throughout all the holidays. I'm not going to have a baby moon. I'm not going to. I can't afford to waste my PTO on a baby moon when I have to save it for my maternity leave that I don't even know if I'm going to be able to take, because now that I know he's unemployed, I don't have that luxury, because I have to raise this child happily. I have to. And that's fine. He doesn't ever have to change his child's diaper a day in my life. I will happily change every single diaper and lose all the hours of sleep. No problem. No problem. But what I don't appreciate is that while I'm here busting my ass trying to figure out the finances, because I'm only one person. I'm only one person and I can only work so many hours. I don't have a problem being a mom. This is what I chose. What I didn't expect was for all these lies to come, like, just lies. And your parents and your family is not pushing you to, like, Go get a job. You're not better than anyone. You're not like beneath getting a part-time job. Like, why can't you? Not once has he offered a single dollar. Anything. How's the baby? He doesn't care. But I can't even take birthing classes. How? If I have to save all my money now, how? You're not gonna buy a box of diapers. I think he has like amnesia, and he forgot all the crazy, wild things he said at my first ultrasound appointment. I think he's like believing whatever lies he's telling his friends and family and his new girlfriends. And I don't know how anyone can sit back and just like look at their son and think like, wow, his ex-girlfriend was crazy. And now she trapped my son. She trapped my son. How do you have a grown man living underneath your roof? How do you have a grown man living underneath your roof and you look at your son every day and you think to yourself, wow, my son's being done so dirty right now. This girl tried to trap him and now she's trying to extort my son. But it's like he said, he's not going to give me a dime until the state of California forces him to give me whatever little money they force him to pay. So it's like I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. Because if someone has to force you to do the bare minimum after the fact that the baby's born, my baby is born, why would I want your money? I might as well go work my ass off and make that money myself. Because you're not doing it out of the kindness of your heart. Because if you were really a good person, Abraham, and you really cared about me as a person, like you claim you do, as the mother of your child, like I'm not like, he looks at me like I'm just like a disgruntled ex-girlfriend. The dog that he shares with his other ex-girlfriend has gotten better treatment than his unborn child on the way. He will jump through hoops for Kygo because it's a cute dog, and he wants that dog. That's what he would tell me. Well, I actually want Kygo. That's why I put effort. He doesn't want this child, so he doesn't feel obligated until someone gives him a piece of paper obligating him to do something, to do the bare minimum. I would love to sign up for the birthing classes so I can like learn how to like breastfeed or just like prepare to like raise a child. And I can't even do that. Because it's like, do I spend these $350 on classes for the experience, for the guidance, so I can raise your child? Or do I save those $350 for when the baby comes, or put it towards the nursery? Not a single penny. But he's got time to go golfing, and he's got time to go hang out with his friends, and he's got time to swipe on Tinder, and he has time to be on Bumble and follow all these girls on Instagram, but you don't got time to go get a part-time job. You don't got $1 to your name. That's a lie. That's a lie. You don't have a credit card that you can charge $20 and just buy a onesie for your own child. Like I can't go running to my parents and asking them to come and step in on his behalf.
My mom still has a 17-year-old son that he has to put through college. That's all I have is my mom. And she's already doing the most because she was there that day and she heard everything you said. And that's cool. That's fine. Not once since he knows exactly what he's doing. I'm just one person trying my best. I'm not asking him to be my friend. I'm not asking for us to talk every day. I'm asking for him to start chipping in. If you're not going to sign a birth certificate, can you just please putting it in writing? Like, what is so complicated about that? Like, if you do want to sign the birth certificate, like, who's gonna, like, it's like the logistics, like, no one's inviting you into the delivery room after all the crazy, like, shit you said in October. Obviously, no one's gonna be calling you up when my water breaks. But, if you do want to sign the birth certificate, yeah, like, someone's gonna have to, like, email you or something, and it's not gonna be me. It's not gonna be me. Like, shame on you. 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 I can't make it up. And if you ask him why he's like this, it's because I hate her. And I told her I hate her and I hate this baby. That's why he's like, just, ugh. Why would I file for child support and put myself through that emotional stress and that process right after giving birth for someone who's broke and says they don't have $1 to their name? This is like, I'm trying really hard not to get frustrated, but it's like so hard. I am just so I keep asking myself, like, what karma could I possibly be paying for? When all I have done is try my best to communicate with this person. All I have done is giving them the courtesy, giving them respect when they do not deserve respect from me anymore. And for what? Because they hate me? Because your mom hates me? Because your sister can't stand me? I would love. UCLA has really great resources at the Birthplace Center. And I would love to drop $300, $400 and take prenatal education courses and get additional support, considering I am going to be a single mom. I don't have the abundance of resources. I don't. Pregnancy alone is not easy. I don't know what fantasy land Abraham is living in, where he thinks it's like some like glamorous sunshines and rainbows 24/7. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard doing it alone emotionally. But when you add the financial burden that you have left me with because you were just a liar and irresponsible, it adds another layer to it. And I am only one person, and there's only so many hours in the day. But I didn't expect for Abraham to be such a I hope you're having fun golfing. I hope you're having fun living. All for what? I asked myself, like, for what? Because you hate me? Because you're mad you're an idiot? There's no way that I could sit here 24/7 with a smile on my face, knowing how dirty you have done my baby. Not yours, mine. I pray for you, I really do. I pray for you. I pray for you to find that internal healing, because there's something wrong up here and wrong in here for you to be so soulless. I got a job. I got a 401k. I got health insurance. I've been good before you, during you, and after you. And when I wasn't good during you, I still worked my ass off. When I needed to get chemotherapy and I didn't have an income coming in, I didn't even have health insurance. And I wasn't speaking with my mother. Didn't even have access to a credit card. I got out there and I worked and I paid for my chemotherapy with nobody's help, by myself. By myself. Took myself to my treatments, to and from, by myself. And I'm gonna figure out a way. I'm gonna figure out a way. I know I am. I know I am. But you, Abraham, you are going to hell. You are. You're going to hell.
I will figure out a way, because I always have. I have always figured things out on my own. But don't think for 1 second I will ever forget every day and every week and every month that's gone by where you have chosen to just watch from the sidelines, because I know you're watching. I will remember that I had to figure things out, not for myself, but for our child. I'm allowed to let out all of my frustrations and cry it out, because it's me carrying the burden, and rightfully so. This too shall pass, and I know I will figure it out, because I have a child that I need to face one day who will be looking up at me smiling.
Hold their feet to the fire. I mean, this is a pretty significant change. We all know how hard change is. So it will rely heavily on data, you people doing data, whether your coordinators doing data in addition to coordination, or just straight up data managers or research assistants also doing data. We really need your partnership in calling out when you don't see supposed to be doing, because it's the only way that we're going to correct this.
I think my brain has started rewiring itself after seeing your face. And my list of goals and ambitions for the next few years have started to shift and morph into an entirely new list. It feels like time is becoming more of my enemy than ever before, because I want to do as much as I can right now, but that is just not realistic or feasible. It's not impossible, but I need to be more understanding and realistic with myself, or I think I'm going to drive myself into insanity before I even get to see you. Lately, I've been thinking about moving somewhere pretty near the ocean or somewhere with fresh air and a lot of greenery. I'm thinking, how can I buy my first house without financial help from my parents? I'm thinking of which would be the best school district to have you start school at. Or should you be homeschooled like I was? I'm thinking of what type of vacation places that I should start saving up for. Your savings account, your tuition, your emergency fund. When should I start those? How much should I start saving towards them? How can I teach you English and Spanish and Portuguese and Japanese and Korean? How will I even manage that? I don't even speak Korean. How can I teach you about your cultures? And should I get a Korean babysitter? How can I create my own legacy to leave you with one day? I can't give you an exact replica of my childhood. I'm just brainstorming and playing with ideas in my head of the next best thing for you. Something that I'm capable of, all on my own, without my parents' help, without your dad's help. This new year, I'm finally gonna get to meet you. And so I have many things to start thinking about and focusing my energy on. I'll figure it out. In the meanwhile, I wanted to ask you, what places do you like to go to when you want to escape for a bit? We are off to the races, Kobe. To Joshua Tree we go. I'm going to stop by Starbucks first before I get on the freeway because I feel so groggy. And it's not pregnancy related. I've just been staying up so late the last couple of nights. I'm so behind on work, like way past my deadlines, which is not a good thing in my field. And also just I've been studying for like a pharmacy exam that I don't know if I'm going to even pass. So yeah. I was hoping to get that exam out of the way before baby comes, but I don't know. I'm crossing my fingers that I do enough studying the next couple of months and all goes well. Because I would really... I also have like my yearly evaluation coming up at work. I think we start self-evaluations in February, and I am actually like kind of nervous this time around because last year I got a promotion after my yearly eval, but this time around, because it was very chaotic in the summertime for me, and then my pregnancy was a really big surprise, so that kind of threw things off for me a little bit. So I'm just hoping I'm not even looking for a promotion, I'm just looking for like a raise. I'm a little bit nervous. Right now things aren't horrible. I could be in a much worse is not a word, worse position, with or without my mom's help, but thankfully, thank gosh, UCLA is just such a great place to work at and to work for. Just the culture and the environment, just my department, I got really lucky. I work with a really amazing woman, so I'm just hoping for a little bit of a raise, for me and baby to survive the first year of life. This is such a treat for me. Oh my gosh. This is me spoiling myself, to be quite honest with you guys. It doesn't get any better than this. I am 20 weeks pregnant. That means I've spent 20 weeks with you. We've spent 20 weeks together and another 20 to go. This is you and me together. This is you sleeping inside. Thank you for bringing peace into my life. And thank you for being peace in my life the last 20 weeks. I don't take any of the highs and lows the last 20 weeks for granted. It didn't always seem peaceful, but you were always here with me, being peaceful. And for that, I thank you. "20 peaceful weeks, each in their own way. Thank you. I am forever grateful. And maybe one day, you will look at me as the peace in your life."